trying to start meal prep today. I'll show you some of the stuff I've got out right now. I've got the Bird's Eye protein blends. This is actually in the Asian style. There's a couple different styles of these. I like this one and the Tuscan. But anyway, there's supposed to be 2 servings per bag. You actually steam it in the microwave. And for this, I actually split into about 4 or 5 different meals. So this will be the side for some of my lunches. And it looks like this. Find them in the frozen section of your grocery store. This one is a whole grains, shelled edamame, carrots, red peppers, and a sauce. But this is what it looks like. And you steam it. And then, like I said, I actually separate this into about 4 or 5. So the macros are not bad on this for whenever you split it up that much. So here they are. We've got 220 calories per serving, 4.5 grams of total fat, carbs, and there's 11 grams of protein. Sodium's a bit high on this, but for a prepackaged thing, it's actually not too bad. And when I'm in a rush, this is a great side to add to something. So then, got some Brussels sprouts. I actually get these frozen and just portion them out that way. I found that sometimes whenever you buy the fresh ones, by the time that you actually get ready to eat them, they're not all that great. I do think the frozen ones seem to hold up better throughout the week. And because I only cook once a week, I don't separate it out into 2 different meal prep days. Only can make time for one. I do sometimes buy them frozen, or sometimes I'll get them fresh and freeze them and then do the same thing. But this is another one of those steam bags. Found it in the freezer section. And while it's not my ideal in this situation, it's going to do. As well as broccoli. These are, you steam this in the bag, just like the other 2. These actually came from Sam's. And they're just steamable broccoli florets. Stick them in the microwave, 5 minutes on my microwave, and they last all week. Got some spinach that I've already cooked, actually. Put it in the microwave, it's steamed as well. I will actually take this because it's not completely done. I will take this and add some garlic and some pepper to it. A little bit of red pepper flakes. Same thing with my broccoli, actually. I'll show you how to do it later on, but I actually take this and I don't cook it all the way in the microwave. And I add some red pepper flakes for a little flavor and some garlic. So there's that. I've got some raisin bread, which is Dave's Killer Bread. I put this sometimes with my breakfasts. I also have the cinnamon raisin bagels that I actually will do just a half of the bagel, and that will be my breakfast along with maybe some egg whites. Great way to, get my day started. And I also work out in the mornings, so I need a little bit of carbs afterwards. So I usually have some kind of a bread for breakfast. This one's actually not bad. Non-GMO, USDA organic, and then they're organic, 11 grams of protein. This one is actually the cinnamon raisin. They've got a couple different flavors, but I like that there's protein to it, a lot of whole grains, and I'll show you the macros on the back here. 250, but then I split it into just a half a bagel. Then you got 2.5 grams of total fat and 49 grams carbs, 11 grams of protein. And then like I said, I split it into just one. And then I also actually have the Epic Everythings, 27 grams of whole grains. So there's those. I got some chicken that I've already thawed out, and they're already in the baggie. This is the shredded chicken that I was showing you how I cooked earlier. Once that gets finished in the crock pot, I'll show you how I shred it and what I do with it once it's shredded. But that was a bag that I'd already made. And I have some Applewood thick cut bacon, black label, right there. I have 4 pieces left. Then I have the protein up, carb down. I like to make some flatbreads, or I like to make wraps every now and then. For my lunches, it's very important for me to have something that I can eat while I'm on the go. So this is something that is pretty simple to do. Then I have some Nieces country sausage. When I went to the grocery store yesterday, I actually usually get turkey sausage, which I like much better and is better macro-wise. But boyfriend loves regular plain old pig sausage. And I actually could not find the turkey sausage. So I ended up with this one. And I've already got some turkey cooked, some ground turkey cooked. And I cooked it last night for dinner. And I'm actually going to mix the two for my meals. And then he can have the regular country sausage. Then I have some egg whites as well. These also came from Sam's. I do a lot of my shopping at Sam's. Sam's or Costco, buy in bulk and do it that way. It's just a little easier. But here's the egg whites, and I use those. And then every now and then I'll add in a regular egg. And then I have the Bush's Best reduced sodium black beans. I like to make burrito bowls through the week, and I'll use a little bit of quinoa, a little bit of black beans, chicken, a little salsa, something like that. And this is what I'm going to add to that this week. So we'll start showing you how all of this is actually prepared and how I cook all of it and put it together in its containers in just a few minutes. One very important part. This is a frozen banana, and I've got it out to thaw. I'm actually going to make a protein banana nut bread. And so here's the bananas being frozen. I bought a big bundle of these, or a bunch, excuse me, of these the other day. And I wasn't able to get them all cooked before they started going brown. So I just stuck through these extra ones in the freezer in a bag. And then whenever I get ready to use them, I'm just going to thaw them out. So my chicken's done. It's in the crock pot here. I have actually already shredded it. I shredded it with 2 forks. You can shred it with a mixer. You can shred it with scissors, or you can just shred it with your forks here. And after I've done that, I'll have my mixing bowl here. But I have a mixing bowl sitting on top of my scale here. And so what I'll actually do is weigh all this chicken out into pound portions, and then I will put them in the bags. A pound is about all I need for my week when I do lunches and breakfasts. So I cook things daily for my dinners, so I don't have to worry about that, but it just works out well for me to do it this way. So scales on, turn it into ounces. So this is a pound. So I put this in my bag, and then I actually freeze these bags once I have enough of them, and then each week whenever I get ready to make my lunches, I just thaw one of these out. Works just fine. Nice and fresh, still juicy. If I think that it's going to dry out or anything, I can actually add a little bit of the chicken stock to the bag and then freeze it with the chicken stock in it. So, and sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just add the chicken as it is into the bag. It's whatever your preference is. You may have to play with it a couple of times and see what you actually prefer. So sweet potatoes, you can bake them. You can cut them up into like little pieces. You can cut them up into about inch pieces and then pan fry them. Add salt and cinnamon. You can do it that way. You can cut them up into little pieces and then bake them. You can bake the little circles. You know, when you cut them up into inch pieces, you can actually bake that in the oven. I'm actually going to do these in the Instant Pot. It's been my new way to do a lot of things. Cooks everything a lot faster. So these potatoes will be done in about 20 minutes versus an hour and 20 minutes that they would in the oven. Pan frying them, it takes a little while as well. And I want to utilize my stove space. So I've got sausage cooking actually right now while I can have other things cooking. So I've washed my potatoes, and then I'm going to take some cinnamon and I'm going to take some salt and just sprinkle over them. I have a cup of water in the bottom of this. I don't think you can see it. So I've got the sweet potatoes in here, and I've got 3 of them right now. I've got the little I don't know what you want to call it, little grill grate thing, whatever, in the bottom. And then I've got a cup of water, and then I've got the 3 sweet potatoes just sitting in here. So I'm going to sprinkle them with cinnamon, and I'm going to sprinkle them with salt, and then I'm going to put them in the Instant Pot on manual setting for 15 minutes. Okay. So, and I washed these really well before I before I put them in here. My sink's a disaster over there. But I'm getting ready to cook my Brussels sprouts. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do them in an Instant Pot, of course. You can do them in the microwave in a steam bag. I have a steamable little pot that I can put it in the microwave. So I've dumped all my Brussels sprouts in here. Sorry for not focusing. They're actually just dumped them in as they were, and then I've sprinkled some garlic, minced garlic in there, and I'm actually taking some red pepper flakes and sprinkling just over the top of them. I put just a tiny bit of water in the bottom, and that'll be to steam them. And then I'll put this whole thing in the microwave and I actually have a sensor setting on mine for frozen vegetables, so I'm not actually sure how long that I heat them for. Probably 3 or 4 minutes should suffice, but I actually just let the sensor cook them, okay? Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to work on is going to be my egg whites. Just cook them in a pan in the oven, and I think I showed these earlier. Just 100% liquid egg whites. I got these at Sam's. You can get them at Walmart, Publix, Milo, whatever it may be. Usually 3 tablespoons is the equivalent to 1 egg, so keep that in mind when you're making them. I cooked this whole carton. There's 2 of us, and this will make us breakfast for the rest of the week. Sometimes I'll mix these with spinach, like I'm going to do today. And then I've already actually partially got my spinach cooked here in this steam bag, but I'm gonna mix them in with this, and then sometimes I can mix a little bit of spinach and ground turkey or whatever it may be for that week, depending on what I want, what I'm gonna make with it. Sometimes I'll make a breakfast wrap. Take a tortilla, do your eggs, your protein of whatever sort, and then a little bit of cheese, maybe some veggies if you want some veggies in it. There's sometimes I make an omelet, but it's usually only good for the next day, so they're not really good to make for the whole week or whatever. So a few minutes while I'm waiting on this to start cooking, you can actually do your eggs. If you are somebody that's on the go and you're going to eat a lot on the go, another great thing to do is to make egg cups. And I'll try to make a video on that in a couple weeks or something. But you take a muffin tin, of course, and then you can put bacon around the edges, turkey bacon, regular bacon, whichever one you prefer. I've used it both ways; they both do well. And then you just pour your liquid egg whites into the little muffin tins, so about 3/4 of the way full. Or if you don't want the egg whites, you can actually do it with a regular egg. Just crack the egg, just like you would poach an egg or something, but just crack the egg and then just dump it in there. You can either mix it up or you can cook it all the way through. It doesn't matter. But you'd put each one, you'd season it. You could put ham in them, you can put spinach in them, you can put tomatoes, you can put vegetables. I've seen it done lots of different ways. I've put sausage in them, and I've put eggs in them, of course eggs, sorry, put ham in them, put just a little bit of everything in them, and they've always turned out well. But you put those in there for, I think like, I can't remember for sure. I will put a recipe up for them, and maybe I'll make a video for people for quick breakfasts. So we've already got everything cooked. Everything's ready to go. It's to be portioned out or to do whatever you want to with it. For me, I'm going to use these black containers. I found these on Amazon, and I've also got some that look like this that I found at Sam's. I found them at Sam's Costco, and you can actually find these same containers on Amazon. Try to find the link, and I'll link it below in the description box. But you can do them that way, or you can portion them out into weekly nights dinners. You would put as much protein as you needed for your family or for as many people as you're cooking for, and then you would do the same with your carbs, and you would just put that all in your refrigerator that's either divided into each days or into a larger bag. For me, I find that this works much better for lunches and breakfasts because I'm not at home. I'm always traveling, usually on the road, and so this is something that's much easier for me. Not to mention in the morning after, sorry, don't know what they're doing, but in the mornings when I've gotten out of the gym and I'm rushing to get ready for work, this is much easier than actually trying to cook something. Or there's times, get out of the gym, got some office work to do, whatever it may be. I don't have time to go and portion out. I like to measure a lot of my food, so measuring it and everything like that, I just don't have time for that. And that brings me to a second point. As you get used to doing stuff like this, it becomes less that you have to measure and more that you just can see and know and be like, that's about 4 ounces. Depends on how strict you're being with yourself and how strict you're being with your diet. For me, I'm not being super strict. I'm not measuring everything. I have a general idea that this bag right here of chicken, like whenever I pull it out of the freezer, it has a pound of chicken in it. So I can divide it up as I need. And I know about what this is going to, how many servings this is going to get me, depending on how many ounces of chicken I'm going to put in each meal. So I just use these, but it's really up to you. It's up to your preference. It's however works best for you and for your lifestyle. So to determine how much you need in each one of these bowls, it's going to vary on a couple of different things. So everybody has your total calorie needs for the day. You have your total proteins for the day, you have your total carbs, and you have your total fats. Now, each person is going to be just a little different because each person's goals and what size they are, what their age is, what their height is, all those things go into play in trying to determine how much of what you actually need. So, you can also do something called carb cycling. You can cycle days that you want higher carbs, you want lower carbs. So for me, I do the carb cycle. I do the carb cycling on my leg days. I do higher carbs, have more carbs in my day. On days like ab day, I'm not going to have as many carbs. I'm going to have a much lower ratio of those. So I'm going to make up for my calorie needs in proteins and in fats. So for all my lunches right now, they're all the same. But where I get my varies is actually in my breakfasts and in my dinners and in my snacks. Those higher carb days, I'm going to have more carbs in the morning because that's right after I've actually trained legs, because I do all my workouts in the morning. So I'm going to have maybe a bagel with my meal or an extra slice of bread or something, maybe an extra sweet potato, maybe a whole one instead of just a half one. Just kind of depends on what I want to get in the day. This also determines, I do have my dinners planned out. They're not made. I actually make them every morning. So if I want to tweak them a little bit, I can. Not to mention I'm cooking for more than just me for dinner. So it just makes it a little different. And if I want to make something different, I can. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world if I don't stay on my exact plan. But this is what my lunch is. So you got the half a sweet potato, 4 to 5 ounces of chicken, and then my rice and beans and stuff that was in the steam fresh bag. So there you go. There's how I prep all of my meals. I'll do my breakfast the same as I did my lunches, but they will vary in what I actually add to them. I may add some of those bagels that I showed you earlier. I will add egg whites to every single one, at least 1 egg, which would be the original 3 tablespoons of eggs. I know that there's 10 eggs to that one carton, so I'll separate it out into about 2 eggs per meal. So 2 eggs, 2 ounces of sausage and turkey mixture, and then that's where I'll change up whether I add bagels or bread. So that's this week's menu. Each week it does change. I don't eat the same thing every single week. And then my dinners are always different. So if you have any more questions or there's any other videos you'd like to see, comment below or send me a message. My email, I'll put my email down in the description box below as well. And if you need anything, just message me. I'd be glad to give you a meal plan. I'd be glad to help you out with some dinners for you, for your family. For easy ways for you to start eating better diet. I'll try to film some more of these from week to week and try to show you exactly what I make each week. But otherwise, hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.